By the way, today on the Diamond, we're having a very good series here in the AL East. That's the Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. You also saw yesterday the Yankees getting on the board in this series, but now we have the final game today. Rodon versus Bradish, two left-handed pitchers on the mound. A de facto pick 'em at the FanDuel Sportsbook, and a total listed at 9. Are the Yanks able to even up today, Craig, in your mind?
Maybe so. It's an afternoon game. Anytime you get these early starts on the East Coast, I look at it the same way. Is it generally I don't handicap them. I just look at the lineups, who they announced. And this is a great way where the invention of live betting really comes into play because you just don't know how these teams are going to approach these games, even in May. If you watch the game early on and you see everyone swinging at the first pitch, you just go under as fast as you can because they just want to get out of there. If you see the Yankees being patient, taking it a little more seriously, I mean, you may think, hey, these guys take every game very seriously. Yes, they do. But not every game is played the same way. So look at it live, I would say, for the sort of flow as to how things go.
The O's trying to win the series 3-1. We have seen all 3 games so far stay under this total of 9. Craig Mish, we appreciate the time. We'll see you on Newswire in just about 40 minutes. More Major League Baseball plays for the small slate up next. Live right here on this Thursday on the early line. Only a 6-game slate in Major League Baseball today. We previewed the first, maybe the biggest one in Baltimore. The Orioles looking for the series win over the Yanks. New York trying to win the last 2 to split the 4-game set. Now we go to Houston. The Astros had won 3 straight games before yesterday against the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians bounced back thanks to Stephen Kwan in 10 innings. The finale of 3 this week in H-Town. The Astros in the only game played following 6 p.m. Eastern time host the Guardians. Minus 134 in favor of the Astros. Over-under is 9. Before Craig left, he said the starter today for Houston is one of the worst pitchers in the AL. Well, we see that today in H-Town.
Yeah, Arrigetti's certainly not that good. You take a look at his combined weighted on base percentage between lefty and righty batters. It's a 412, which is extremely high. He's a right-handed pitcher. Now, there's somewhat of a interesting lineup that we're going to see from the Guardians tonight. How about this? Typically, you're littered in the lineup. Like, okay, it's a right-handed pitcher. You put a couple lefties in the lineup. And we don't know the official lineups because this game is not going to take place till 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. But we are expecting only one right-handed batter to be in the lineup, and that's Tyler Freeman. So if you include lefties and switch hitters here, 8 guys from the left side. Having said that, if we're lining up where the pitcher struggles in Arrigetti, I just told you he struggles basically on both sides of the plate. To lefties, he does have a 341 weighted on base percentage, which is only slightly elevated. An ISO power number to lefties at an 048, so it doesn't really fit there. Take a look at the 31 batters he's faced from the right-hand side, Ben. A 179 number at ISO power number, which is just slightly elevated, but a 475 weighted on base percentage. So just based on the early season returns on Spencer Arrigetti, it's probably best to actually have more right-handed batters in that lineup than lefties, but you're always going to play the percentages here. It's smart to add up those lefties, even if the numbers technically aren't making sense for this. It's a shame because if those numbers were reversed, Ben, boy, oh boy, you might have a party with the Guardians tonight.
DRS, the controversial ending last night at Citi Field between the Mets and the Cubs. Chicago wins 1-0. Series finale today between the Amazons and the Cubbies. Supposed to be very warm at Citi Field, around 85 degrees in the New York City area on this Thursday afternoon. It's a virtual pick'em. The Amazons a slight favorite at minus 112. Who wins the last game of this set in Queens?
Let's take a look at the pitching matchup here. Now, again, it is a very short card. There's only 6 pitchers that have pitched this season, 20 innings or more here going. Number 1 on the card today, how about this? Ben Brown at an xFIP number of 91. Worst pitcher on the card today, coming in at number 6 overall, that's Adrian Hauser at a 149. Now, having said that, yesterday, we had a pitcher on the mound in Tristan McKenzie who was close to a 150 xFIP minus, which is absolute disaster territory. He was just fine. So sometimes these things work their way out. But if we're just looking from a pitching matchup, you're going to have to give it once again to the Chicago Cubs. Not a great looks in the lineups overall between both of these ball clubs. But again, we're not really fading Ben Brown in this spot. It's going to be more of looking towards going up against Hauser and those left-handed batters in the lineup. Michael Busch and also Mike Tauchman will be legitimate RBI options for the Chicago Cubs, who I also would back the Chicago Cubs today just based on the limited statistics that we have for both of these pitchers, Ben.
The Rangers blanked yesterday. Trevor Williams, the first starting pitcher in Major League Baseball in the last 50 years to work a scoreless outing, but yet face the bases loaded twice with no outs both times. But still, the Nationals win 1-0 in Arlington. Can the Rangers bounce back? Expected to with Nathan Eovaldi on the bump, minus 215, that money line number.
They are. It's not a great hitting lineup here for the Washington Nationals. But let's flip it over to the other side. Mitchell Parker has faced 62 batters this year for the Washington Nationals. Get this. ISO power number, 017 against them combined. Weighted on base percentage, 215 combined. So instead of picking a side with that heavy number, if you just expect the Rangers to roll, I'm probably looking more or less of an under today as opposed to a side in this one.
Rangers team total 4.5 for what it is worth. The Boston Red Sox playing really good baseball right now. Tanner Houck, Cutter Crawford, the aces of that staff. A pick'em at Fenway between the Sox and the Giants today. Minus 110. Boston slightly the favored side. Who wins?
Yeah, Winkowski's been decent on the season here for the Sox, but let's go ahead and take a look at the San Francisco Giants starting pitcher, Kyle Harrison, struggling a little bit with right-handed batters. He's a left-handed pitcher. Tyler O'Neill in the season, the right-handed batter for the Red Sox, 350 ISO power number coupled with a 507 weighted on base percentage. That's probably the RBI guy in the lineup today for me for the Red Sox.
The Sox have won both games in this series, looking for the sweep. Now 5 games above 500. The Marlins take on the Rockies, the 2 worst teams in the National League. How bad are the Rocks? The Marlins have won both games so far in this set, and a minus 166 favorite today.